Back. It is Monday Mindset. I am messing around with some technology, y'all. Yep. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, if I become the tech person, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Anyway, no, but I want to come on here and first off just say, happy Monday. We are actually, this is the last Monday. I think it's the last Monday of the month. I believe so. How many days are in August, you guys? It's been so long since I've had to look at that. Let's see. Do we have one more? Is there a 31? No, the 31st is Sunday, so the first is Monday. I'm gonna get it together. Y'all don't worry. Don't worry. This is me showing all my flaws because I'm a very imperfect person and I'm grateful to finally be able to tell the world. Oh, seriously, I hope everybody is doing well. So now I can say with full force and confidence, this is the last Monday of the month. So, how has your month been going? How has your year been going? That's the question. How's your year been going? Are these videos helping you? I hope so. I do hope so. They help me. Nah, but I want to make sure that I'm doing things that, are helping other people as well. Because I always say it's not about me, it's about everyone. So I really do hope that we are doing well this year. I'll be honest with you guys, it's been kind of a tough year for me. It's actually been one of the toughest years, mentally and even physically. I've had some ailments. I'm getting older, so my body's reminding me of that. Anybody else? Anybody else have that? Or is it just me? Because, it's one of those things that we have to deal with. But it's been a tough year psychologically, because there have been a lot of people in my life that have, I guess I can just say they're not as close as they were and kind of maneuvered out of my life a little bit. And I found myself in a holding pattern for a little while. And what I mean by that, for anyone who has ever been around airplanes or flown airplanes, I did not fly them, but I did work on them. When you're in a holding pattern, you're basically stuck. You're not able to go anywhere. You're waiting on further direction, right? And in this journey of spiritual enlightenment and being okay with not always being okay, I have I've been in a holding pattern and I've had to literally just put all my faith and trust in God and just say, okay, I'm in a holding pattern and I'm waiting on further instruction. And I'm not waiting on further instruction from the world. I'm waiting on further instruction from God. And that can be difficult sometimes, you guys, because we don't always hear what we want to hear. And it's not always when we want to hear it. Can anybody else relate? So if you're on this message or if you're on this video right now and you like how it's streaming better than before, do me a favor and give me a fire emoji or give me 100, because I am trying different things to make sure that I can bring you better quality videos and more, um, videos that can empower you on a different level. And I know sometimes the quality of our videos really have an impact on that. So I wanted to try a couple different things and see how it goes. So if you like it, make sure you put a fire or a 100. Let me know you're here. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you want more of. And let's get started, you guys. The title today is talking about the painful upbringings and the things that some of us deal with. All right, so if we talk about painful roots, to purposeful circles. I want you to really just kind of marinate on that for a minute. Painful roots. Does that speak to you at all? Anybody else watching this video come from a maybe not so healthy background? Anybody? I'm doing this video on August 25th, and for years I was taught to not allow things to bother me. Right. So, what happens with that is we tend to put on the mask and go out into the world and act like everything's okay. The problem with that is it can catch up to us. So on August 25th, that was a pivotal moment in my childhood. It was when my mom remarried to what would become her abuser for the next however many years until he passed away. I think that was in 2003 when he passed away. So on August 25th, 1984, I was 6, so now you know how old I am. And I remember just being this kid who didn't really understand relationships, obviously. My real dad left the picture when I was 3, and I really didn't know what a healthy relationship between a man and woman looked like. So when she remarried to this person, it was fine until I started seeing negativity. What I mean by that is I found out on that day that it was okay, and I'm saying this superficially, okay, so don't come back and say anything. I found out on that day it was okay for a man to hit a woman and get away with it. And I say that like I say it because as a kid, as that 6-year-old, I remember not really understanding how that was okay. But because I didn't know any different, I just had to kind of go along with it. So they got married and that began the journey and it was August 25th. So I'm starting to understand in my life there are certain dates that have an impact on me. August 15th was another one where I posted about, my sister, I would have had a sister. And that same person that my mom married basically took my sister's life when he threw a trash can at my mom's stomach and forced her to lose the baby. Right. So domestic violence is one of those things that is near and dear to my heart. I'm an advocate. I'm very passionate about helping others as much as possible get out of those situations, which is why I'm grateful for the partnership I have with the nonprofit, a new nonprofit. We're waiting on the designation letter still, called Empowering Life Ignited. And this is partly what the mission behind that as well. Now, what I will say about this is we all have pivotal childhood events. If you were to list out yours, you would see probably how some of these things have had a larger impact on you as a person and possibly those around you just based on whether or not you have learned how to form healthy relationships. All right. So I would encourage you, if you've never done that, to sit down for a moment and not overthink because we all know analysis paralyzes, right? Analysis paralysis. We don't want that. So don't overthink it. But I would encourage you to write down pivotal ages, pivotal dates, things that you remember, events. Um, I will say one of the things that came out in my therapy back in 2021 was that I had what's called dissociative amnesia. And basically what that is, it's the brain's way of protecting us. It's the brain's way of kind of putting us in survival mode, but not in a negative way. It's to help us get through some of the hard times. And when I was going through that therapy at the age, I was in my 40s by then, it was very difficult for me to understand how so many events, like I couldn't remember a lot of the things. So it is actually a thing. It's called dissociative amnesia. It's what our brains do in order to protect us from, you know, traumatic events. So I would encourage you to look into that too. If you're finding yourself in a holding pattern, like I was talking about earlier, during the time of waiting for further instruction from God, I would encourage you to look into these things that I talk about. And also, I would encourage you, like I said, to make that list of pivotal events in your life. It's not to upset you, it's not to um, revisit those painful moments. It's meant to bring about self awareness. So, as you are doing that, I want to make sure that you understand that because it is not meant to be a negative thing. It is meant to be empowering. And it's really a choice whether we allow it to be one thing or the other, right? So the power of choice. Today, I want to talk about not just the power of choice, but also the power of our circles. This is really important because as I look back in my own life, I have allowed different people into my life who I really thought were supposed to be there. But now that I know what I know about my past and the fact that I had some abandonment things that I needed to work through, I realized that I tend to cling on to people. Um, what I mean by that is even when the situation becomes unhealthy to a certain extent, it's not as easy for me to let that go. For instance, I had a relationship like that, friendship for a couple of years, and I kept allowing the person to treat me a certain way, but I was allowing it based on the need for that person to be in my life. I'm sharing that because a lot of us are in relationships, whether it's, an actual relationship or even a friendship. A lot of us are in these situations where we are allowing things that we should not be allowing based on the need to have people around us. So I want you to think about something today. Who we surround ourselves with can either be a launch pad that propels us forward in life, or it can be an anchor that holds us down. And that's where we have to really we have to look at these things and get real with ourselves and literally every person that we are surrounding ourselves with, we need to figure out, is this person helping me go forward in life or are they anchoring me down? And if they are anchoring us, we have to be willing to maybe place some distance in that relationship. It doesn't mean we have to completely stop talking to people. What it means is these individuals are not what I need in the season of the life that I am in. And that is okay. So that's where we have to get real with ourselves. So I have three questions for you when you're examining who should be in your inner circle, who you can talk to about just about anything, where they are not hindering your growth, where they are not making you feel bad about yourself, where they are not telling you, oh, that'll never happen, or that'll never come into play, or that, like, whatever. Right, you hear it all the time, you hear all the negativity, because some people, they just don't, they like to live comfortably, they like to be in society's box, placed in that box where they have a title, and they, they feel like they have purpose, and that is okay too. But if we are the front runners, if we are the people who are doing different things, it's not going to make sense to those other people who are just fine where they are. I do the box because society likes to place us in a box, and I was in that box for a long time. Check the boxes, check the boxes. Let me do what society tells me I should do, and that's going to make me successful. That's a whole nother video. So we won't even go into that. But we cannot tell people, if we have big visions and we aren't boxed in by society, and we are, you know, wanting to do more, and we know we have a calling in our lives that is bigger than most people are going to understand. We cannot tell those things to small-minded people, and we have to have the discernment to know who's small-minded and who's not. Listen to people. This is one thing I did not do for many, many years, and I'm doing a lot better at it now. Listen to people, and they will tell you exactly where they are mentally. Just listen. You don't have to try to figure it out. You don't have to, the discernment is going to be right in front of you, because when you listen, you're going to already know, okay, that person might not be the person I can tell my vision to. But you will have one or two people come into your life that you can, and they will support you. But until that happens, it's okay not to share everything. I used to be that person. I had to share everything. But I also realized that I was seeking external validation, and that's why I was doing it. I needed other people to validate me, because at that time I did not have the relationship that I have with God. So I was not validating myself. I was not allowing God to validate me. I needed other people to validate me so that I could feel like I was on the right track. The problem with that is, when everyone goes away, who do you have? Who do you have? And that's the reality check that I finally had, where it was like, okay, everyone else has gone away. God is the only one who can validate me. I am the only one who can validate me. So I have to stop relying on outside sources to validate me. I don't do these videos for validation. I do them to help other people, because these are things that I have encountered and that I am encountering. And I want to share them with other people to help anybody else who might be encountering similar things. Because a lot of these topics are topics that we don't talk about in normal everyday life. And it's time we start talking about them. So I want you to think about who challenges you to grow. I want you to think about who celebrates your wins without comparison. Without comparison. Those last two words are very important, you guys. Who do you have that celebrates your wins without saying, well, I should be doing that, or I should be doing that, And honestly, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I know that I used to be that too. I used to be one of those people. And I'm grateful that I'm not now, because now I see how toxic that can be to other people, and I don't want to be toxic to other people. So I celebrate other people's wins. I just celebrate them. I celebrate me. I celebrate other people, because we should be propelling each other up. I don't take it personal anymore if someone chooses to work with someone else over me. That's okay. I am not for everyone, and I finally know that. I've finally accepted that. So now, even when I have past clients who are winning, great. I am so happy for you because you decided to take a seed and water it. And at the end of the day, I can be happy about that. I want you to think about who celebrates my wins without comparison. Who is really celebrating you? And the last one, who speaks life into your dreams? And if no one around you is doing that, be okay with being by yourself for a while. I'm having to embrace that. And I'll be honest with you, it has been truly enlightening. It's been truly enlightening because I'm learning that even though I might be alone, I am not lonely because I have the Holy Spirit dwelling inside of me. And that has been a huge game changer in my life, understanding that. So definitely think about those 3 questions. Look, I can look at, this date does bring about some thoughts about the past, but I don't live in that. What I do allow it to do is encourage me to keep going forward and encourage me to keep raising my standards. Because here's the other thing, my standards were low because as long as somebody didn't do that, I was good. So when we become able to heal through some of these things, we also begin to value ourselves and we understand that it's okay to raise our standards. It's okay to ask the people around us to step into those standards. And if they're not willing to, it's okay to let them go. It is okay. Society doesn't teach us these things, but it is okay. My past influenced my relationships, my ability to form relationships specifically with men, my inability, I should say. But I can now choose intentional growth. I can learn. There's a reason I started this specific program for my PhD. I'm learning a lot of things. So now I can learn how to be even better. I can learn how to utilize my past, not to hinder me, but to propel me forward and help those who desire to be helped. That's what I can do. That's what I'm going to do. We can't choose the family we're born into, but we can definitely choose who we build around us. And seasons of our lives are different, you guys. Who I hung out with 20 years ago isn't going to be who I hang out with today. Because back then, I was doing a lot of partying, I was drinking, I didn't really have a lot of purpose. I went to work, it wasn't that big of a deal, but now I don't drink. I drink a lot of water. I go to the gym, right? My circle is different. It has to be different. And it's not just people that go to the gym anymore now because as I've evolved mentally, guess what? The people around me have to be mentally up there too. What I learned is it's great to go work out, it's great to eat right, but if we're not challenging ourselves on a mental scale, we're really doing ourselves a disservice. And if we aren't bringing ourselves around people who are challenging us as well and challenging themselves, we're doing ourselves a disservice as well. So we really have to learn how to pay attention and see what's around us, see who's meant to be in our lives, see who's not, Be okay with stepping away from certain people, certain situations unapologetically. Because at the end of the day, it's like the saying goes, we have to put our mask on our, if we're in an airplane where they tell you put your oxygen mask on first, we have to save ourselves before we can save everybody else. So my question for you today is, are you taking steps to save yourself? And that's the question I have to ask myself every single day as well. Am I taking the steps to save myself so that I can show up and do videos like this, so that I can pour into the people who need me to pour into them, who ask me to pour into them, so that I can show up and be the best version of myself for those around me and myself? It's important. All right, you guys, I'm going to be hopping off here, but I hope that today was a good talk for you. I hope that thinking about how our past can actually propel us forward is a positive thing. Being able to list out certain events that have an impact on our lives, because some of those events might actually be the events that are keeping us stuck. So it's important to be aware of them and figure out how they are hindering our progress in life. Because if we never get that self awareness, it's going to be very, very difficult to take those steps forward and get where we're meant to be. Today, I want to make sure I share. I am doing a 2-for-1 on my book, Reclaim Your Life. This is a 2-for-1 special until supplies last. So once they're gone, they're gone. I'm not getting any more. I'm actually rebranding it. So make sure that you go to www.ladyjempowers.com/store, purchase one copy, and I will send you two. Okay. While supplies last, I don't know how long that's going to go. If you're looking for early Christmas gifts, there you go. Buy one, I give you two, I'll sign them both. If you have the person that you want to send it to, you already know you have somebody you want to give it to, you can give me that name and I'll make sure I personalize it for them. If not, I'll do a general dedication and signature for the extra copy, and I will do a personal dedication to you and yours. All right. Also, if you would like to invite me to or book me to speak, do a workshop, come in, help you transform your team, teach any of the leaders how to be more authentic and lead your people to greatness, I am happy to do that. Just go to my website, ladyjempowers.com. Once again, go to the home page and you can fill out the form. We will get the form and we will get back to you after that. All right. So God bless everybody. I appreciate you for being here. I'm going to keep this up as much as possible. Can't wait to see your feedback on what you think about this video versus the other videos that I was doing on Zoom. And let's see if I can get this right at some point. But if nothing else, I'm going to do what I always tell people. I'm going to bring the best version of myself for you. So on Mondays, as much as I am able to, I will be here in the flesh and we will be talking about real life, real stuff, raw, authentic, genuine, transparent. And the chat is open, you guys. You are more than welcome to post questions in the chat. This is supposed to be a Q&A. This is a live stream and I am here for you. So I just want to say, give yourself a pat on the back if you showed up today. Give yourself a pat on the back if you're watching this later, because you're taking time out of your busy schedule to show up, not for me, but for you. All right. And I look forward to seeing you on the website, getting your copy of Reclaim Your Life. Look, you guys, our lives are meant to be great. And it's up to us to take those steps in order to get there. And sometimes it's painful. Sometimes we got to release people. Sometimes we got to do things that are uncomfortable. But I promise you, because I'm living this, if you just keep going, surround yourself by the right people, and keep putting one foot in front of the other, your life will change for the better. God bless you, and I will see you next time.